Hi, my name is Thomas Santea, and today I'll be giving you a briefing on how human overpopulation is harming our planet and some solutions to save our planet before it's too late. But we need to get started on those now. Overpopulation is becoming one of the most permanent problems facing human civilization. This complicated issue will come to be a problem of the utmost importance for people of all races, religions, and nationalities if we don't start taking the right steps to solve this issue. One of my main points is carrying capacity. Our planet now provides for approximately 7.53 billion people, with projections from the Population Division of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs has conducted a study, and by 2050 it will be 9.8 billion people on this planet. Now, let me tell you why this is an issue to have 9.8 billion people on our planet. This is such a big issue because it's been predicted that the carrying capacity for our planet is 9 to 10 billion people. So in 31 years, if it's been predicted that our population will be 9.8 billion, that means we're going to be at max carrying capacity in just 31 years. That's it. Such a little amount of time. And we can already see the effects of overpopulation today, and we're sitting at 7.53 billion. Can you imagine having 2.2 more billion people on this planet? It would be super overcrowded. With only 7.53 billion people on this planet, about 2 billion of these people are extremely poor. The poorest of which live in absolute poverty and misery. And nothing can be done to help these people because of the lack of food that we have already on this planet and the overcrowding. There's nowhere that these people can go. They live in horrible conditions and nothing can be done to help this. My second point is the global environment. Now this is a big issue that you can see the effects today. One very serious effect of the population explosion is the detrimental effects on global environment. Increased amounts of food, energy, water, and shelter are all required to fulfill the needs of our human society. And with our population just growing more and more, we're not going to be able to provide the food, the shelter, and energy to support all these people. We're struggling to feed all the humans on the planet today. And to touch on our energy, most of it comes from burning of fossil fuels, which releases millions of toxins into the atmosphere, which over time deteriorates it, which causes changes in weather patterns that we're seeing today. Such in the Arctic, we're seeing a bunch of ice melting and increasing the water levels in the oceans. To touch on our food a little bit, our food, with more people coming on the planet, we're going to have to continue to grow and produce even more food, which means we're going to have to take even more land and use that to produce food. Now, while we have to increase the amount of land that we have to grow food, it will basically take all that land that we're using for development for houses and schools and other stuff that we need for shelter. Now, this is a problem because to create more land to grow food, we'll need to destroy nature, such as rainforests. And those animals there, they depend on that to survive. And one of the big species that we need are bees. Bees are huge to our survival. They pollinate everything. So if we're wiping out rainforests and other forests around the world, we're going to be killing off a bunch of animals that we don't need to be doing. Just to give you an overview of the effects of overpopulation on human society, we can start with the lack of resources, which is causing us to be driven to war. Suffering from a lack of resources, people are often driven to war to receive those resources. Ethnic and racial differences will grow increasingly frequent and basically become unresolvable. Increasing numbers in urban areas will just lower the quality of life in cities. Everybody will be forced to live even closer together. We can already see that in countries such as like China and Japan. You can even see it in New York. Most of the apartments are super tiny and everybody's on top of each other. and skyscrapers. So those are just a couple of the overviews that I have, but that's not all of them. The factors are unlimited. We can look at poverty, increased poverty, food distribution, and government corruption are all important aspects. No one will be unaffected by the repercussions of overpopulated world. This highly sensitive and complex issue demands the attention of all who reside on this planet, particularly those who have the ability to work for change. Overall, I have two solutions that I found. One is by Positive News. Positive News had this to say. They want to promote family planning. By just simply educating men and women about contraception can have a big impact. When Iran introduced a national family planning program in 1989, the fertility rate fell from 5.6 births per woman to 2.6 in a decade. That's amazing. A similar effort in Rwanda saw a threefold increase of contraception usage in just 5 years. Now, why is this a big deal? Let me tell you why. The United Nations Population Fund says, worldwide, nearly 40% of pregnancies are unintended, which equates to about 80 million unintended pregnancies each year. That is huge. Now, the second solution is by Connect the Dots. And Connect the Dots is a small group that is working to solve overpopulation issues today, and that they have a good solution. And that would be to end all policies that reward parents financially based on the number of children they have. That way, we don't have people having children just to increase the amount of money that they are going to receive. Which, who knows, may work out. Overall, these are just a few solutions that could help our planet last longer and not become unlivable. I want to thank you all for listening to what I had to say today, and I hope everyone has learned some important information.